The Murder of Sam Cooke, Part 2. So Sam was bold enough to leave gospel and leave certain people that he loved angry at him, not understanding his move, but he was making his move as a visionary and as a businessman. Sam knew that the money was in secular music. And because by that time, a lot of our people were waking up to the shortcomings of the church. And some people just wanted to just be free. And the church had a rhetoric of condemning people, what have you. And some people just wanted to drink their booze and smoke their cigarettes, man, and have their affairs and have their one-night stands. And they just wanted to be free. So a lot of our people were outside of the church. They may have been affiliated with it, or if you were to inquire of their religious affiliation, they would have said the church, or Christianity, and in general, Baptists in particular, Roman Catholic, Methodist, what have you. But they were trying to do them. And it was a lot of them. Okay, those people, secular, people call them secular people. Still people, but, not in the church. So they were lost. They were the devil's people. The devil had them. But they also had money, too. And they liked music. And Sam Cooke understood that. Dude was brilliant. Sam Cooke, his goal, his plan was to leave gospel music, establish himself as a secular singer with broad appeal, whites and blacks, and then go back to the church and bring other gospel singers into the secular world so that they can blow up as well too, because they needed money. When Sam Cooke was asked the question why he left gospel, why did he leave the church, why did he leave gospel music, and Sam Cooke honestly said, for economic reasons. Brilliant, honest answer. Not that I don't like gospel. Sam loved gospel. Everybody, Stevie, Marvin, it's in you, And as a people, we love gospel music. So just because we leave it to go into a different area doesn't mean we don't like it anymore. Denzel likes positive roles, but he wanted to venture out and do the opposite of a positive role, Training Day, where he got his first, not his first, he got his first Oscar for lead character. He won in 1989 for Glory, but that was Best Supporting. But as lead person, he got it in 2002's Training Day. And if Denzel would have stayed, just keeping certain roles, positive characters, then he would not have gotten that Academy Award. And I know, that's suspect too. Two Birds in One Night, Halle Berry for Monsters Ball, which embarrassed the race and just embarrassed black women. And then Denzel got it for this corrupt cop. I understand, and that's a video too. Okay, now when I talk about stuff, don't think that I'm some cat that's just talking like a lot of cats on YouTube. I know some stuff that you don't know, and I deal with the spiritual, metaphysical, and the mundane. Sometimes time don't allow me to deal with both. But I know some things, so don't think that, Trudy, man, when Denzel and Halle won, man, they was taking a jab at us. I got books, I've heard from Richard Roundtree and Jim Brown and a lot of blacks, Samuel Jackson, I heard from them what they had to say. And you know what? The consensus is pretty much the same across the board as far as African Americans, so-called African Americans, are concerned. Most don't like what took place when Halle and Denzel won, for lead characters, for degenerate characters, if you will, But anyway, I briefly digress. Sam was smart to come out of gospel, get in secular music, make that money. Sam knew that money was so important. And that's what that man did. That man was, okay, I don't want to jump the gun. So Sam did that. Sam had confidence in his singing abilities and what he would do in the secular world. He was new to it, but he knew what he would do. He was like Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali in that respect. And he showed it. I mean, instantly, You Send Me, Cupid, Chain Gang, having a party. I mean, dude was just tearing it up, on the billboards, and he had white people. He had that large white audience, twisting, having a party and just the jams. And so white people, man, was grouping at their little parties, their little high school parties and then like little home parties. They would listen to Sam Cooke, I mean, but just keeping it real, whites back at that time were probably listening to black artists more than black artists themselves. They loved Fats Domino and Chubby Checker and Sam Cooke and, Chuck Berry, what have you. These guys had crossover appeal, but they were dealing with racism. White people loved the music, but not necessarily loving them. I would say the exception to the rule were younger white children. And so this is why the white establishment had to control the minds of the youth. You see, if you leave it up to most youth, you're not going to have, your white privilege, your racism, what have you, because young people just want to groove, man. They just want to have a good time, You see somebody that's exotic, you're fascinated by them, what have you, and, you talk, what have you, and you have an experience. But society, the adults, those who made up the status quo, made the dictates of the status quo, they couldn't have that because then you have interracial, not so many interracial marriages, but you would have a lot of interracial mingling, sexual exploits, what have you, which would not have been good for society as far as the whites in positions of power, whites who were tuned into the white status quo. It would have been a problem for them. And that type of mindset created the Manson family, little teenage white girls who didn't like the restrictions of the middle class, who didn't like the restrictions of the status quo and wanted to be free, and so they ended up with this unskillful Scorpio, sun sign, solar Scorpio, Charles Manson, and then you have a whole bunch of other stories as well, too. Then when you get to the 60s, and you have to bring astrology into the equation, a lot of things is going on in the heavens that, break down certain things here on the mundane. And so it looks crazy, but it's really not. We just don't understand astrology. We just don't understand the heavens. And most of us have been taught to not even study it because it's of the devil. Astrology is of the devil. Even though you're dealing with Venus and Mars and Pluto and Earth, it's of the devil, as if the devil made the planets. Because most people don't even know the devil really doesn't exist. But how could you have a religion that's going to get people to come to Jesus Christ without a devil? You know what I'm saying? You got to have the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? So you take the devil away, then there's no sin. There's nobody making you sin, And so your business, your religion cannot work if there is no sin. We're talking about a religion, a business that works based upon sin. Original sin. You're conceived in sin. Your whole life you're sinful, so you need this guy here to forgive you. This guy here died for your sins, and you can't go into the light without this dude here, and we got this dude, we control this dude, okay? So if you want to be cool with God, you got to work on this whole sin thing, and these people, man, these founding church fathers, go back to the Roman Catholic Church, these dudes they were nefarious, but man, they did some ingenious type stuff there because they made nature a sin. Lust, you don't want to be controlled by lust, but lust is natural. It is. The dynamic of a man and a woman, the attraction is natural. And they converted that into a sin, So, you got to give them credit. It was nefarious, it was wicked, what have you, but, they came up with it and it worked. It worked. Moving on, or getting back to the premise. So, Sam established himself. He had crossover appeal, whites and blacks, even though he was not playing the white club. Most blacks were not playing white clubs. A few exceptions. Nat King Cole came along, did some things, Johnny Mathis. But back in the 50s, man, it was rough. And the early 60s as well, too, coinciding with the Civil Rights Movement. It was rough for black entertainers. As a matter of fact, if you watch the movie with Leon portraying Little Richard, white artists could even steal the music of blacks and make money from it. And it was nothing that the blacks could do back then. And that also propelled the likes of a Little Richard to take control of his music because, you know, blacks did no business. You know, we just did the entertainment. And the whites had the mind, you know, manager, man, mental. You know, they didn't act or didn't have the talent. They were the managers. They managed, they used their mind. And this is why I tell people that in our world, those who use the mind make more money than people who use the flesh or the muscle. You know, my father would always say, he said, son, he said, the white man's mind and the black man's back will always get the job done. And I really didn't figure that out, or I didn't figure out what he was conveying until I got into my 20s. Like, okay, it's not so much about the white man's mind and the black man's back, because it could be the white man's mind and the white man's back. You could have, you know, a middle class white man controlling a lower class white man, or you can have a white man with knowledge and you can have an ignorant white man and the job gonna get done. So I really didn't really see it in terms of like black and white. I just saw it in terms of mental and physical. You know, it could be two Hispanics, one with knowledge, one who lacks knowledge. The job gonna get done. The one with the mind is gonna make the rules and do the architecture and all this good stuff here, the blueprint, if you will. And then that ignorant one who's dependent on him, who needs a job, who can't do for self, he's gonna go and do the physical or the manual labor and mess his body up and destroy his energy, will not be able to come home and play with his children and take care of his wife and in certain departments and argue and all that crazy stuff because he's ignorant. But he manually works. You know, a thing is not going to get done without him. Okay, like these rich white boys, you know, who do architecture. You know, they may be like architects or work for an architecture firm. They're not going to build. You know, smart guys, they're not going to, you know, pick up a sledgehammer, and they're not pouring cement, you know, into blocks and things. They're not going to do it. So it's not going to get done. So Sam did it, man. Sam did it. But business. Sam had the penchant for business. But see, Sam was like myself. Like, even though you know business, you do it because you have to keep control. But you would rather be creative. You would rather do more creative things. This is why you guys have not seen a lot creatively from me, because of business. Doing my own business. Because if you don't handle your own business, man, you can't trust other people to handle business for you. If people will rob you, they will mess things up, there will be mismanagement. You got to handle your business. And Sam Cooke knew that. Sam knew, you know. You had a lot of black entertainers, man, who was just getting pennies, man. And then the managers, who were mostly white guys, were balling. You know, the blacks were doing all the work, man, and these white managers were just balling big houses, and their children could go to college, man. And they wasn't doing any physical work. And yeah, they deserve to get paid, man, but a just compensation. But to rob these guys, man, these black entertainers were robbed big time, man. You know, I did some research on my girl Billie Holiday last week. Got all the, you know, the CDs and just listened to the music based upon what she was saying, based upon what she was singing about, pertaining to that time she was there. You know, that's how I learned a lot too, through songs, you know, because the musicians are singing about what's going on during the times. And doing research on Billie Holiday, it was mind-boggling. The woman only had 75 cents in her bank account at the time of death. She had $75 in the bank and only $750, which was that was the fee for a newspaper interview. That's all she had. And Billie Holiday was awesome. I love Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan, but for me, like Billie Holiday was like the shiznit, man, and died with nothing. And the same thing with Josephine Baker, and the same thing with Dorothy Dandridge, and so many others, man. My man Sam Cooke, all that money, and when they died, nothing there. They were robbed. Billie Holiday was robbed of most of her royalties. Sam Cooke was robbed at first of most of his royalties. So if you don't know business, you're going to get robbed. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get robbed. As a matter of fact, I was going to create a management company called Honesty Management for entertainers. You know, I started meeting a lot of entertainers, black entertainers mostly, in the early 2000s. You know, Brandy, Stevie Wonder, Shamar Moore, Big Boy, Boris Kojo, Nicole. I mean, people. It was crazy how people were. I was like this, like little guru type dude for celebrities, man. And people, man, they would come, man. They would purchase the full body detox and other herbs, and man, we would chop, man, for like hours. You know, Stevie Wonder and I, we would talk for 5, 6 hours. Michael DiLorenzo, 4, 5 hours. It was crazy. People would come over at 12 and leave at 6 or 7 o'clock. We had some great time, great conversations. You know, Brandy and I would sit there, and Brandy is a sharp sister. A lot of people judge her because of Venus and Serena Williams and other antics, but Brandy too is an Aquarius, and Brandy is really sharp. That's a sharp sister, and I don't say that out of love or she's my little sister, what have you. But I'm just being honest. The girl is sharp, and I know y'all don't see it. Y'all see Hollywood. Y'all just see another side, and a lot of people, you know, they're a different way. They're not like scared. They're just smart. And so they don't go public talking about conspiracy and politics the same way many of us feel. They feel. You know, I'm deliberating right now the movie Black, White, and Blue, which will feature predominantly my man Wood Harris, actor Wood Harris. Like, Wood is like this sharp dude. I mean, you know, Sam Cooke may have been like that pioneer as far as taking charge of your career, being outspoken, knowing history, knowing the truth, you know, but there are a lot of Sam Cookes on the scene today. People, entertainers, people who happen to be entertainers who know what time it is. And some of them know how to speak it publicly to protect their careers. And then others just stay away from it, you know, because it's like, hey, listen, this is how I make my livelihood. You know, I know a lot of celebs, man, and when they get with me, we get together, we don't talk entertainment. We talk police brutality, the murders, the wholesale murders of black people. That's why we're deliberating. And I'm saying deliberating now because, you know, things are coming up. And I'm really deliberating Black, White, and Blue, you know, which is a movie that I'm in it to give solutions. And other people are talking about certain things. But I know, for the most part, myself and my man Ansel Littlejohn, he was my sovereign buddy. We were in the sovereignty back in the early 2000s, and we learned a lot. So my man Ansel and myself and my man Ansel Littlejohn would be in that film, and we will be breaking down, or we would, because it's not made yet, we would be breaking down things that can help blacks, in particular, people in general, learn what to say and what not to say, what to do and what not to do during these police encounters, so that a lot of these encounters don't turn tragic, because police are going crazy. And I saw a video yesterday. Police are going crazy. And this, I believe, was like a white dude, man. He was in a traffic collision. His car flipped over. And the dude was climbing out of the car. The police got on the scene before the dude was climbing out of the car. It looked like an SUV. But anyway, it was turned over. And the dude, it looked like a white boy, could have been Hispanic, what have you. It looked like a white dude, was climbing out of the car. Man, this cop walks up, takes the gun out the holster, pow, pow, shoot the dude, and the dude just fall in like some little plastic toy type figure. And I was like, that was crazy. The dude was murdered because he was guilty of surviving a car wreck. And it was deemed an accidental shooting, and nothing happened to the cop. And I've been sitting on the sidelines, man, for 2 years. Tamir Rice and, you know, Trayvon and Mike Brown, Eric Garner, and I'm like, man, I don't hear nothing about no Title 42 lawsuits. You know, you waiting on the government to do something. I'm like, oh, people, you guys can do things. The thing that happened in Texas with the little girl, the cop pulling a little girl by her hair, you know, Sandra Bland, you know, and I'm sitting back with all this information, man. I'm like, God, people are so freaking ignorant, man. You know, and I guess there was a part of me that was sitting on the sidelines thinking somebody would jump up, man, And, props to my man Tariq Nasheed because, Tariq is exposing things. Props to my man Sean King. He's exposing things. And exposing is great, man. Exposing is great. We need the exposure. But after the exposure, we need to be able to do something. We need to be able to do something. And not just economically. We need to do things economically. But we also need to do things legally, man. And so I'm like, you know what? That's where this feature film, Black, White, and Blue, comes in. And if I do it, then that's going to be a public venture where the public is going to have to finance that, because normally I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make that type of movie, at least right now, because I have to be true to myself. I got to put out the Djehuty Ma'atra story, American Herbalist. I got to put out dollars and cents. I got the things that I want to do that I'm going to finance. My thing, my babies. But these police killings, man, and the treatments of blacks in particular, it's really nudging me like, Djehuty, like, dude, you gotta do something, because I've had my encounters, and my encounters don't turn out like, a lot of other people, man, that results in death, because I have this master, it work. I don't care where I'm at. You can put me in the South with the worst cops. I'm coming out unscathed. I'm coming out alive, because I know law. And I mix man-made law with universal law. I mix it with spirituality. I mix it with one's personal code of conduct, and so I have to write these things. I also have to put it in a movie so people can, learn these things. And then if they're in certain situations, they can say, okay, this is how I'm going to talk. This is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm not going to say. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm not going to do, what have you. I'm going to play the role, because Djehuty said the pen is mightier than the sword. We're talking about the civil suit, what have you. Man, there's so much that could be done, man. All I can tell y'all people, and we're still talking about Sam Cooke. And I'm talking about this because, like I said, Billie Holiday and musicians, they sing about what's going on during the time. Strange Fruit, Billie Holiday. That's about black men being hung, and that was taking place in Billie's days, and this was after black people were free, and they were still getting hung. So Strange Fruit, this was a strange fruit hanging from a tree. Black men were hanging from trees, murdered, okay? Quote unquote American citizens paying taxes, but they were murdered. Nothing happened to the perpetrators, So you get the song Strange Fruit, John Lennon, women are the niggas of the world. They're singing about what's going on during the time. So I'm talking about the times right now before I get back to my man, Sam Cooke, who also went through some things, man, dealing with 5-0. But if I do it, people, then that's Indiegogo, GoFundMe, and my man Sal, my man Cochise, and, everybody that I'm working with, like, y'all gonna have to set that up. I'll deliver. I'll write the script. I'll bring the heat with law. I'll blow your minds. But I'm not going to do it, by myself. It's very important to me, but to do this, it has to be done the right way. And, it's going to take the IT knowledge, and graphics and all of that stuff that I don't do, because if I do it, hell, I'm going to put it on Djehuty Ma'atra Network, but if you want a movie DVD, so you can share with other people, then that's going to have to be a collective, collaborative effort. Now, speaking on 5-0, my man Sam Cooke, right? Sam was this bold dude, man, outside of music. Sam was bold outside of music. One day, this is after Sam had established himself with all his hits, well, not all of his hit songs, but his hit songs up to a particular time. And Sam was on the road and his car broke down. And white highway patrol officers came on the scene, and of course they talked to Sam and treated Sam as if he was like a little boy. And they told him he had to move his car. They said, you got to get your car out off the highway. You had to remove your car off the highway. Sam Cooke told the officer, he's like, I'm a musician. I don't push cars. I don't push cars. I don't move cars. I'm a musician. And the cop said, oh, yeah, you're a musician. He said, what type of music do you do? And Sam Cooke told this white officer, he said, go ask your wife. I bet you your wife know who I am. Sam was able to talk, that was bold back then. But Sam was able to talk like that, boldly, man. I mean, he was just bold, and then he also had the aura as well too. Sam was also intellectual, very intellectual, smart dude. And there's something about police too when you're smart and you're not aggressive. That's my approach. Very intelligent but not aggressive. You see, and that's why we do need a film that not just highlight police brutality and wholesale murders of quote unquote African Americans, but we also need one to teach us proper conduct during these encounters. And then also the law, of how to, inconvenience these people, because you really can't make them pay. When you give somebody a settlement, the police department is not paying for that. The citizens are paying for that. When government say, here's $5 million for the murder of, for example, let's say Tamir Rice or Mike Brown. Here's $5 million. That's not the city's, but the city doesn't have any money. The city robs the citizen. That's what happens. So government doesn't pay. We pay. So it ain't gonna stop. You can't really teach them a lesson the way things are going right now. Something has to be done. Anyway, Sam Cooke had his encounters with police as well too. Bold dude. Sam Cooke hooks up with Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. A lot of people don't know that. Sam Cooke and Muhammad Ali had a song called The Gang's All Here. And Muhammad Ali could get down too. He could blow. He wasn't a singer, but Muhammad Ali could blow. And him and Sam Cooke had a song. I don't know if it was ever released, but it was called The Gang's All Here. And Sam Cooke would get a lot of Black history info from Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X. And they were like a trio. It was Sam Cooke, Malcolm X, and Muhammad Ali. Beautiful Black men, businessmen, articulate, intelligent, bold. It was awesome. It's really unfortunate that, we didn't really get to see more of that. But that trio was very powerful indeed. So Sam Cooke's interest in Black history, because that's what Sam Cooke would read on the road. When Sam would be in a car, somebody driving for him, going to a show on a bus, Sam would be reading Black history books. Sam would purchase Black history books and pass them out to Black youth in various cities. Sam Cooke is my type of dude, because Sam did things that I wanted to do and that I'm now doing. Sam Cooke would go through the hood, stop his car, and would break up a fight of brothers. Like, what are you brothers fighting for? And usually it would be over some money. And Sam Cooke would just go in his pocket and give one brother a $100 bill and another brother a $100 bill. And they was fighting over $5 or $10. And Sam, here's a C-note for you, a C-note for you. Y'all brothers, hug, make up, and going about your way, go have a good time. I mean, Sam was a cool dude. Sam was not afraid to go back to the hood. I mean, he was bold, man. This was a bold dude. And bold people have to be made an example out of. And before there was a Jay-Z, before there was a O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube, before there was a Master P, before there was a 50 Cent, before there was a Dr. Dre, that was this dude called Sam Cooke, who was doing it all back then. Sam Cooke was unprecedented. Sam Cooke went to a barbershop in Los Angeles, and Fats Domino was in a chair, getting his hair did up. And Sam Cooke said, hey, Fats. He said, man, you ever thought about owning your music, owning your own catalog? Do you know Fats Domino thought Sam Cooke was crazy for saying that or asking him about that? Fats Domino thought Sam Cooke was crazy. Entertaining Sam Cooke saying, hey, man, have you ever thought about owning your music, man? Owning your copyright, owning your catalog. You know it was unprecedented. If you got to be looked upon as a crazy man for talking about owning what is yours, what you create, if you got to be looked upon as crazy for saying that, then you know it was not being said during that time. You know it was unprecedented. And I like Fats Domino, but it goes to show you the mentality of the majority of people. And that's why Sam Cooke is or was the pioneer back then. So Sam was into the history. Sam was into the hood. You know, a lot of dudes will be gambling. Sam Cooke used to gamble. See, this is another reason why we can't really be holy rollers, because the American way of life involves so many things that if we engage in them, then we're diabolical of the devil. We're on bad terms with the church. So this is why you have hypocrisy, or like a lot of people, they just done with it all together. Because I got to get my, we playing craps. I got to get my craps on. After that, I ain't got time for the Lord. Forget that. Look at this fine honey here. I got to go try to get wet. I can't be dealing with the Lord. So I am of the devil. I follow Satan. Leave me alone. Because I'm having a good time following the devil. Not that people really follow the devil, but that's their logic. Ooh, if you do that, that's of the devil. Well, you know what? It feels good when I'm getting slurped on. So you know what? I'm with the devil and I'm doing good. Going to Jesus now. I'm getting slurped up, or I'm playing craps, or I'm boning, I'm eating some grits and oatmeal, and I'm smoking some weed and snorting cocaine, what have you. Leave me alone. I'm of the devil and I'm having a good time. I ain't messing with you. And that's how a lot of people are now. Son, have you found Jesus? Hell, I didn't know he was lost. So I ain't been looking for him. Just go. Go. It's Saturday. Jehovah's Witness. Ding dong. Oh, God damn. I'm watching the game or making a video. What do y'all want? Jehovah's King. I don't want no Jehovah's kingdom. I got my own kingdom. And you're disturbing me in my kingdom. I don't want Jehovah's kingdom. Well, here, take the newspaper, the little booklet, what have you. What is this? You got people, you got a lion next to them and a tiger, and no, that don't happen in real life. Tiger, eat your ass up in real life, lady. This is fair. Don't go. Thank you, but go. No. I'm into evil or wickedness or the devil. Leave me alone. Just like I leave you alone. Just leave me alone and just go. You're gonna burn in hell. Okay, no problem. And I'm gonna take a whole bunch of ice cubes and I'm gonna do the ice bucket challenge. I'll be all right. But you're gonna lose your soul. That's okay. That's all right. I'm having a good time right now. And a lot of people choose to be like that now because our lifestyle we just can't do the holy roller type thing. We've been suppressed a long time, and so-called bad things a lot of people enjoy. That's why drama is big. Negativity is big. Forbidden fruit are sweetest. Sam Cooke understood that. Sam understood it. And that's also, a reason why Sam stayed in secular music. He could have went back to gospel, because Sam was really an instant success. Smart dude, though, he was out of the church, man. And Sam was mean with the women. And what I mean by mean, he was a bad dude, man. This dude had appeal. He had, magnetism. As a matter of fact, Sam, I'm not going to even, I'm not going to say that Sam got Aretha Franklin, but Aretha Franklin was 17 years old, man. And Sam Cooke had her in the hotel room. Her father, I think her father was a reverend, and came in at the nick of time, And I don't know if Sam and Aretha ever got down, what have you, but I know there was one time Aretha Franklin's father came in and stopped something before something happened. And then both Aretha and Sam, joked around about that. They had the hots for each other. This was back in the church days, But, man, this dude, man, was a cold cat, man, with the females. And that's why this whole Alicia Boyer story doesn't make sense. Okay, moving on, because time be moving, man. I haven't done these videos in a minute. I'd be like, damn, boy, that time be moving. I'm like, man, I'm not even halfway through. So I got to force myself to get to the, halfway point and finish. So Sam was cool with Malcolm, Muhammad Ali. Sam brought on musicians, to help cats out. Johnny Taylor, one of my favorite musicians. Bobby Womack. Bobby Womack does not figure positively into this whole Sam Cooke scenario. But it really wasn't his fault. He was a young dude. You know, Sam's wife was a cougar. Um, but anyway, Sam was doing things, man. He was bailing dudes out who were gambling. Sam and his brother would win all the money, and before the dudes would leave to go back home, Sam would give those dudes their money back. And Sam's brother would be like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And Sam was like, "Look, man, we got money. They don't." And Sam gave the dudes their money back plus some. Like this dude was awesome, man. This dude had a big heart. You know, there's usually people with big hearts, man, you know, who get taken advantage of and done wrong. But I focus on the good, man, and that was just a hell of a cat there, you know. Michael Jordan wasn't that type of dude. Like Michael Jordan does not have love for like black people. Jordan would take your money and that's it. Very selfish dude, you know. But a Sam Cooke, he looked out for his people, man. He was a genuine cat, very genuine. He did things for his nieces and nephew, took them to the big white amusement parks. Um, he didn't forget where he came from. He didn't forget where he came from. And Sam wanted to use business to do more for other people. So he set up SAR Records. He set up Tracy Ltd. And I want to talk a lot about Tracy Ltd. because that's where the damage was done. That's where the damage was done. One of his homeboys, J.W. Alexander, got real tight with Sam and became a business partner of Sam Cooke. And he didn't have Sam's best interests. Sam got married to Barbara Cooke. Sam was with another female before Barbara. I mean, Sam was a philanderer. I don't know if y'all don't know. I don't know if y'all know that or don't know it. But Sam got around. You know how they have rap songs, "I Get Around." Sam got around, and it's Sam. What the entertainers? You know, women like successful men, stars, what have you. Sam was just a cold, mean. This dude here, man, it's nothing different than what's going on today. But Sam was. It was a problem for Sam because Sam was messing with those church girls, And I don't know why people think church girls are so innocent. They're girls. They're women. They're human, So they have a sex drive. Like, I just don't get it, man. And I guess Sam didn't get it because Sam was running through the church girls, and it got real bad. Papa Cooke had to intervene. As a matter of fact, Sam had gotten Barbara pregnant. She had a child by Sam. And Papa Cooke had to step in and make sure Sam did the right thing. Back in those days, you get a girl pregnant, you marry her. For our world has changed so much since then. But yeah, you get a girl pregnant, you got to marry her. So Sam ended up marrying Barbara Cooke. They had a daughter named Tracy. And they was doing a family thing, But Sam... Sam was just out of control. Even though he was married, Sam was still doing his thing. And that pissed off Barbara Cooke, like it would piss off any woman. And that's why Sam Cooke's wife entered into that affair with a young Bobby Womack. Bobby Womack was 19, man, 19 or 20. And Barbara Cooke was having an affair with young Bobby Womack. Sam Cooke had brought Bobby Womack on. Sam Cooke, his background singers, his band, his crew, his posse, musical posse that is, because like Harold A. said, if Sam Cooke would have had a FOI type of posse, Fruit of Islam type of posse, then maybe Sam would not have been murdered back in 1964. But Sam had a musical posse that featured Johnny Taylor, Lou Rawls, Bobby Womack. Sam Cooke is responsible for a lot of R&B and soul crooners that came on the scene after him. Otis Redding was an exception. Otis Redding came out of the Memphis clique, and Sam Cooke was doing a Los Angeles thing, even though he was from Chicago. Sam was a philanderer, even while married, which pissed his wife off. Sam just didn't know you can't do things like that, man. Because when women get hurt, man, these are the most vengeful, scornful, bitter creatures on planet Earth. And when they put their minds to destruction or getting back at you, man, You got to be hell of equipped, man. You got to be spiritual, mental, intellectual, all of that. Because if not, they're going to knock you off your square, or you're going to allow them to knock you off your square. And that's what Sam did. Sam had a rough time, you know. Sam had a rough time. And that's why Sam needed Alan Klein to come on board to help him out with the business. Sam knew business, but he was creative, and I understand that. And here comes Mr. Alan Klein. This is before the Beatles. This is before the Rolling Stones. And Alan Klein, he robbed the hell out the Beatles, and he robbed the hell out the Rolling Stones, man. He got Sam first, though. He got Sam first. Alan Klein duped Sam Cooke. Now, Sam Cooke was smart. Sam Cooke wanted to save on taxes, but he also wanted to own his publishing rights. So he created Tracy Records, Tracy Ltd., and he did a Nevada corporation. Alan Klein set it up for him. This is why when you do your incorporation, you need to do it, because this is what happened to Ricky Harris' wife, the woman who wrote the book, Married to the Game, Lydia Harris. You know, she let David, what's his name? David, what was the dude's name? Kenner. David Kenner, the attorney, you know, who was really Death Row Records. It was called Death Row Records because David Kenner was a criminal attorney. And so that's where you get the whole death row and the whole criminal aspect from. He was a criminal attorney. And when they set up Death Row Records, they left the Harrises out of it. And the Harrises were the one who financed it, you know. Ricky Harris dropped a couple of million on Death Row Records. And Suge Knight and David Kenner took the money and set up a different company. Same thing happened with Tracy Records. Alan Klein set up a different company, you know, and was manipulating the paperwork. So Sam Cooke was the president. J.W. Alexander was the vice president. Papa Cooke was on the board of directors. Alan Klein was the secretary. But on the official documents, the owner of the company was Alan Klein. Sam Cooke was president. President is not the owner. Alan Klein set the articles of incorporation up for him to own Tracy Records, and that's how Sam Cooke lost his empire. Sam Cooke said a white man will never end up with everything that I make. It will not happen, and it happened. But of course, Sam wasn't here to stop it. He wasn't here to stop it. So the family life, you know, the social responsibility, the creative drive, it takes a toll on a man. And I can speak from experience, man. You know, it takes a toll on a man. You have so much to do and so many mouths to feed, so many people that dependent upon you for their livelihood. Come on in, Alan Klein, and help me out. You know, and really, Sam Cooke really only needed Alan Klein to get back into Copacabana and to get this new contract with RCA. Because Sam Cooke had been robbed of $150,000 in royalties. And Sam wanted to go to a new record company, which was RCA, and I give Alan Klein credit. He got that deal. He got that deal, $500,000, which was a lot of money back in the '60s. Sam got a 1965 Ferrari. It was 1964. He got the latest model. He got a nice house here in the Los Feliz district. The Los Feliz district is not what it used to be in the '50s and '60s, but it was nice. I went over there a few years ago. It looks pretty common and standard now, but back then, you know, it was pretty upscale. I saw the swimming pool where little Vincent Cooke drowned. And little Vincent Cooke drowned because Barbara Cooke, at this point, you know, she was hurt, didn't give a damn about Sam. She cared about the money and the image. It's like that with a lot of women. You know, the relationship is over with, but they want to keep the name. They want to stay in the spotlight. They want the house. They want the car, what have you. Even though they're not cooking, they're not giving you no sex, what have you. They messing around, you know. But you know, they want the Skrilla for Rilla. And I understand. Well, if a woman been married to a man, she should get half of what he have and community property and all that stuff there, you know. But when you deal with this thing called integrity, you know, this getting 50% when this dude is doing all the work, like no, she only needs enough to just, you know, get by, you know, and she got a mind. She can go do some things and be just like him. I have issues with women getting 50% of what a man makes, all because of this business union called marriage. you know. And so that's how Barbara Cook was. It got to the point, even though Sam was doing his thing, she wasn't putting out, So that Sam would like, screw it, put on a shirt, what have you, and go out, and he would get it outside the home. And this because Barbara was, I'm not getting no attention. You spending time with Lou Rawls and all these other people here, and just acting a fool, and women, they will act a fool if they don't get their way. You don't give them attention, they will act a fool, and that's what Sam Cooke was dealing with. That's why Sam Cooke stayed out the house. That's why Malcolm X stayed out of the house of Betty Shabazz. A lot of people don't know that. Betty Shabazz gave Malcolm X so much hell. Malcolm stayed on the road, man. Betty Shabazz was telling Malcolm, look, if you can't put it down, I'm going to find somebody else who could. And we don't know that Malcolm X dealt with that, We don't understand that aspect. People thought it was hunky-dory with Dr. King and Coretta. We don't really know, about this whole relationship thing, man, and especially as black people, African-American people, and what black women have to go through when they're married to a particular type of black man, and what black men have to go through when they're married to a particular type of black woman. We don't really know about these things, man. You got these black men who got these major responsibilities. And the women just don't understand. Like, I want attention, but, I'm a community activist, I'm Dr. Martin Luther King. I lead the civil rights movement, and, just millions of people. And you got a woman, one woman. So what? All those million of people don't matter. I matter. Give it to me, and you deal with that, the jealousy, man, the competition, and the rage, man. And Mr. Sam Cooke, he dealt with that. Sam was frazzled in the last year of his life. Very, very frazzled. And that's how Alan Klein was able to take advantage of Sam Cooke. And he stole Tracy Limited. He had two companies created. He gave Sam some phony documents, and he kept the real documents and kept them hidden from Sam. And J.W. Alexander was in on it, and Barbara Cook was in on it. Sam Cooke always had penchant to keep his eyes open and his ears open, and so Sam could see through some things, and so Sam knew what was going on. And one day Sam Cooke decided to look at his own books, and he realized that Alan Klein was robbing him blind. Sam Cooke was going to fire Alan Klein, but Alan Klein had the phones tapped. Sam Cooke also knew that his wife Barbara was screwing Bobby Womack. So Sam was like, you know what? I'm 86ing both of you guys. Alan Klein, I'm firing you as the manager, and Barbara, I'm firing you as my wife. I'd rather deal with the divorce. Their little son died because Barbara Cook was on the phone talking to Bobby Womack. And the little boy was 2, man. He ventured outside, man, and fell in the swimming pool and drowned. And that's when Sam Cooke turned it off to Barbara. He was like, Sam had checked out. Their son was dead because she was neglectful. She on the phone with some man, and I know if Tommy Sotomayor get a hold of this video here, see what Brother Tootie talked about in the Sam Cooke video about Barbara Cook, being on the phone with some man and let the little boy go out and wander and fall in the swimming pool and die. I can hear it right now. I'm not gonna go there in my video because we want to keep things balanced. Black men are taking a hit and black women are taking a hit. So we got to keep things balanced here. But man, when that little boy died, man, Sam was done with Barbara. And Sam tried to do the right thing and stay with her, even though he wasn't happy. But Sam made up his mind. He had to 86 him. And they found out what Sam was going to do. So they planned this dude's murder. Sam Cooke did have associations with the Los Angeles mob. They played a role in financing Sam early off. Not a lot, just major type things. And the mob can help you get things done when a bank is not there for you. And Sam was a smart dude. Sam was like, look, I'll use you guys to get going, but after that, I won't need you guys anymore. But when you're dealing with the mob, it don't work like that. You don't use the mob will use you. And Sam was a bold dude. So when Sam got the RCA contract, Sam was like, yo, like mob, like we good. We good. And Sam had got this big contract. The mob wasn't going to be able to skim. Alan Klein wasn't going to be able to steal. So a lot of people were threatened because Sam was, yo, I'm taking control of my musical legacy. I don't need none of y'all. I'm about to do the Sam Cooke thing, you know, the real Sam Cooke thing, the solo Sam Cooke thing. And when other people are dependent upon you because you're creative and they're not, they get very fearful. And fearful people will harm, including kill. And that's what happened to Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke went to the bank and withdrew $5,000. And that was to pay an attorney in New York to help him get out of the contract, which was really an unofficial contract. But Sam had hired an attorney in New York to handle the Alan Klein split. And Sam was smart for doing that as well, too, to let an attorney deal with that. And then also the divorce from Barbara Cooke. So Sam withdrew, the day Sam Cooke was murdered, Sam Cooke withdrew $5,000. He went to Lou Rawls' house. And I'll never forget this, man. Lou Rawls said on the day Sam Cooke died, when Sam Cooke came over his house earlier and said, hey, man, are you going to, come to the studio? And the studio was in Sam's house in the Los Feliz district here in Los Angeles. And Lou Rawls said, his son, who was a little baby, wasn't feeling good. And I think Lou Rawls may have had like a cold. It was either Lou Rawls or his son wasn't feeling well. And so Lou Rawls told Sam Cooke, like, nah, I'm gonna stay in. But Lou Rawls said that that the aura of death was on Sam Cooke because the little baby, when Sam went over to Lou Rawls' son, the little boy started crying. And Lou Rawls said that the baby could see the aura of death on Sam Cooke. As a matter of fact, Lou Rawls said it just felt different. And what was going on was, the aura of death. When the aura of death hits you, you're going to move in the direction for that death to take place. And certain people can see it. You can see it in the aura. They can see it. They can sense it. It's there, So people say, like right now it's 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right? And if somebody's going to die at 7 p.m., they got the aura of death on them right now. And they're going to do things in that day that's going to take them to their death, to a particular location, to a particular person, so that death can occur. Because once that angel of death, once that aura of death or the angel of death is on the scene, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The movie Meet Joe Black deals with the angel of death. When the angel of death, even though in the movie it was a long, pronounced period, but nevertheless, that's a movie I like to recommend about, the angel of death. And Anthony Hopkins' character actually had the aura of death around him. The little voice he heard in his head, which was death, played by Brad Pitt, was on the scene. And there was no turning back. Your time is up. And this happens to all of us. But if we're not in tune with it, we don't know what's going on. We're just like, okay, man, I'll meet you at the club later on at night, but I'm going to make the stop on the other side of town. And it's when we make that stop on the other side of town that we get killed, because we're supposed to be killed that day. We're supposed to die that day. We're supposed to meet death that day. And that's what took place December 11th, actually December 10th, 1964. And Lou Rawls went public with this. Sam had the aura of death on him. And Sam talked about, how dogs, certain animals will act a certain way and, can see the aura of death. Cats can see it, And now that I said dogs, I don't remember if Lou Rawls said it was his son who saw the aura of death or if the dog was acting crazy this particular day. I'll probably go back and make this movie. I'll spend like hours on the research and make the documentary so I can have, the actuality. But it is a fact that Lou Rawls sensed death on Sam Cooke from visiting his house that particular day. And I want to say that it was the son who had never cried, never acted like that around Sam. But Lou Rawls had deduced that is because Sam had the aura of death on him, and Sam died later on that night. So Alan Klein and Barbara and J.W. Alexander conspired to prevent Sam Cooke from cutting them off. December 10th, Sam gets in his Ferrari and Sam goes to handle business. Sam handles his business to 86 these people, but then Sam goes to Martoni's, which was a restaurant on Sunset Boulevard here in Los Angeles. And that's where the celebrities went, you know, Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis and all these people. And Sam Cooke used to frequent this place as well, too. In comes this music industry imp named Jim Benchy. And Jim Benchy used to do like little odd jobs for the music industry executives who were controlled by the mob. So Jim Benchy comes in with Alicia Boyer, the prostitute. And Sam did know her from, you know, a previous encounter, so it wasn't like she was a stranger. But Jim Benchy knew Sam Cooke was going to be there, brought Alicia Boyer in there, you know, looking hot to trot, what have you, and dumps Alicia Boyer off on Sam Cooke. Like I said, they knew each other. And it is believed that it was Alicia Boyer who put the Mickey in Sam's drink. We know for a fact that a Mickey was put in his drink, and Sam has spent a lot of time with Alicia Boyer, so it is believed that it was Alicia Boyer that put the Mickey in Sam's drink. They leave Martoni's and they go to PJ's, and PJ's is a known mob spot. As a matter of fact, Bobby Fuller of the Bobby Fuller Four, who he was responsible for the hit song "I Fought the Law and the Law Won." He ended up murdered in 1966. Same connection to the Sam Cooke people. PJ's, Martoni's, LAPD cover-up, the mob. Similar circumstances to Sam Cooke. And I will be covering his situation in an article and a video in the future as well, too. Very, very fascinating account of what happened to this young man from Texas. Entertainer who was robbed. And in his case, it was over life insurance. Sam Cooke, it wasn't about life insurance. It was about Tracy Records, owning Sam's legacy. So Sam had a tussle with a dude at PJ's who was trying to holler at the prostitute, Alicia Boyer. Sam got into a scuffle. The Mickey kicked in, and Sam had blanked out. Mob characters put Sam in a car. Alicia Boyer was also in that car, and another person drove Sam's Ferrari to South Central Los Angeles. Sam Cooke did not drive to South Central. That's why it's a lie for Alicia Boyer to say that Sam Cooke got on the Hollywood freeway, the Harbor Freeway, the 110 freeway. You have to take the Harbor Freeway south, which is the 110 freeway to get to South Central Los Angeles. And Alicia Boyer said she was shocked that Sam Cooke got on the 110 freeway from the Hollywood 101. She was shocked. She told Sam Cooke she wanted to go home. She wanted to go home. It was 2:35 in the morning. And Sam Cooke said, I'm in love with you. I'm madly in love with you. Sam Cooke didn't have to talk like that, man. Women said they couldn't keep women off of Sam Cooke. So it is big time, untruthful that Sam Cooke drove this woman to South Central. Sam Cooke had passed out, and he was driven to South Central Los Angeles to a club on the other side of the street of the Hacienda Motel. The Hacienda Motel for individuals who really want the facts and who may want to do some sightseeing. The Hacienda Hotel where Sam Cooke was killed is located on 92nd Street in Figueroa. They changed the name. They knocked down the original motel. So if you go over there, the motel that is on the corner of 92nd and Figueroa is not the actual motel whereby Sam Cooke was murdered. There's a market over there now, and they knocked down the original Hacienda, and they built a market. So when you see that market over there, that's actually the location where Sam Cooke was murdered. The market. There's this Spanish market. That was the actual site of the Hacienda Hotel where Sam Cooke was murdered. We're coming up on 1 hour. Stay with me for part 3 of the murder of Sam Cooke.